Hi, I'm Geoff Buys Cars. This is my Renault 5 GT Turbo. So why did I buy a rather rusty Renault 5? Well, to be honest, I saw it on Facebook and I just thought, I like the look of that. And the price was £1,095. And it looked great in the pictures. And then she lowered the price to £695. And I thought, well, I've got to have it at that, haven't I? So it got delivered and I'll be honest, it's worse than it looked in the pictures. It photographed really well, but when the car arrived, I couldn't quite believe just how many holes it had in it, in various different places. That being said, I was quite surprised by just how well this car drove. It's cute and it's got charm, it's very French, and it's going to make a great first car for someone. Cheap, classic motoring for no money. It's going to cost you nothing to run, and there's nothing to it. It's a real slice of French simplicity. Bonjour, je suis Geoff à cette voiture. Ici est ma Renault 5. I don't speak French. I learned all my French from an Eddie Izzard sketch. So, le singe est sur la branche.
And the monkey is on the branch. Le singe est sur la branche.
Thank you, Eddie Izzard. Right, I'm going to tell you all about the service history that this car's got, because it's got some, and it's in English. Roll the tape. I do have a service book, and in that service book there is a photo of the Renault Laguna Touring, which was one of the best looking touring cars from that era, from that magical era of motorsport. Now, in the service book, I have some stamps. My favourite stamp in this book is the one for the body inspection. And there's a notes section on this stamp, and it simply says, dents, dents, scratches, dents. That was in 1998, so a real proper sort of French car. Right, service history wise, this car was first, here's my spreadsheet, look. You know I love a spreadsheet. This car was first registered in October 95 at Man Egerton in Guildford, and they serviced it in 96, 97, 98. And then in 2001, it was serviced in Newcastle, and 2002. Now, interestingly, in 2003, this car was serviced at Smith & Hunter in London. And then again in 2004, Smith & Hunter in London. When that car was serviced, it lived at Palace Gardens Terrace in London. Have a little Google of that address. That is someone that really likes small French cars, because that is not a cheap postcode. So, affluent owners of my French Renault. And then a pretty decent service history, really. You know, there's not much on there that's causing me much concern. It's had the brakes rebuilt a few times. It's had plenty of servicing. It's had some top mounts, oil filters, carb mountings, manifold gaskets, a new heater fan, and a fresh seal for the sunroof. So my service history is pretty consistent. The last service, I've no idea. I don't know. But, you know, they're French, aren't they? They don't need a great deal of servicing. All they need, really, is to be driven. So should we take it for a little drive and see what it's like? I think let's do that. Funny thing is, when I was driving the MG ZTT, the stainless steel exhaust on that car made it really hard to film because it was so noisy. In this car, it's the sound of all the plastics banging against each other. It's so noisy in here. I can hear every single piece of plastic that is falling off this car. It's funny. I quite like it. I do. I just like shit cars. It's got so much character. It's got character falling off it from every angle. I don't know who painted those. What an idiot. Did he not do any prep? Now I love these door handles. Just absolutely ace. And then inside, it's one of them. Such a cool mechanism. Absolutely love that. Lift it up and pull. Yes, there's a hole in the sill, but you're nitpicking, aren't you, really? Right, dashboard. Absolutely beautifully simple. This car's got a few standard features that you can see on the dash there, and over there, and also in the back. Now, there's a lever just down here to pull the seat forward, and the whole thing goes forward at once, giving you access. Flat cap, tripod, baguette, bottle of red, cheeky Frenchies. Plenty of space in the back. Just a beautiful, simple little car. Couple of vents, cracked window, a couple of big knobs. Yes, that's got the right noise, doesn't it? Listen to that. That's a bit better. That one works. And then I've got a little storage cabinet there. Oh, look, there's a lighter in there. Very French. Down here I've got a Philips radio. Little drawer there for storing things, and a bit of storage in the glove box. Lovely. Interesting stains on the seat. I suspect that's from a leaking sunroof, to be completely honest with you. But I do like the sunroof on this car. Oh look, here comes the lawnmower man. It's like bouncy. It's a bit weird, isn't it? I mean the lawnmower man as in the man cutting the lawn, not that, you know, Pierce Brosnan film. Was it Pierce Brosnan? I think it was. Right, let's go somewhere else. Everything just works, like the handbrake and the gear stick and the steering and the indicators and everything. Like, it's just simple and it just works. Like, that's the way cars should be. It's the way cars used to be. I haven't got anything electronic in here. I don't have a fucking electronic handbrake. I've just got a great big lever that I pull up and it works. Same with my gear stick. There's nothing intelligent going on here. It's just a basic car. And that's what's lacking in the modern world. Just where is the simplicity in modern cars? That's what's driving this classic car movement, music. People are moving towards these old classic cars because they're just sick of all the complexities and the sat-navs and the heated this and the heated that. They don't need any of it. Just give me a flipping steering wheel, a gear stick, a handbrake and a sunroof. Bolt it to a car that's full of holes. Nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful in its simplicity. And it's got a quality door shut to it. Listen to this. Nearly knocked it over. The Renault 5 was designed by a chap called Michael Buer, and he was basically working on it in his spare time. When Renault executives learnt what he was up to, they immediately commissioned a full project. 1972 was when this car first arrived, the Mark I, which was a much simpler style to the later 95 car that you see me in today. But the basic silhouette remained the same for pretty much that entire time. That's an impressive production run. Now, the Renault 5 was one of the very first modern super minis, one of the first cars that we associate with the super mini movement, the small hatchback design. We sort of take that design for granted these days, but this car really was one of the very first. Of course, the Renault 5 that everybody wants is a turbo. Ali G had one in that movie, you'll remember. It's got very, very hard to find those Renault turbos, mostly because people like Ali G had one back in the Max Power days. So there's very few of them around, and finding a good one is extremely difficult. So the values of Renault 5 turbos have gone absolutely through the roof. And as a result, it's also getting harder and harder to find good Renault 5s of any shape or form. For a car that was once so numerous, when I had a look at, to try and find what this was probably going to be worth, there was like 3 for sale on eBay. So not an easy car to find at all. So yes, it's rough. Yes, it's ropey. Yes, it's got a cracked dashboard, both horizontally and vertically. But go and buy another one. No, you can't. They're just not out there anymore. Now, my Renault 5 is a 1.4, which is the same engine that was used in the turbo. It's just that mine hasn't got a turbocharger. So this should be good for just over 60 horsepower, about 63, whereas the turbo version was more like 110. Renault 5 Turbo won the 1989 Côte d'Ivoire Championship, so it was a very successful car.
I'll just interrupt the video there because I was looking for an image to drop in of that car, but I found this instead. This is the 1990 Renault 5 GT Turbo Group N rally car, which sold at a Bonhams auction in 2009 in Monte Carlo for €13,921 or £11,948. 12 grand for an actual Renault 5 Turbo rally car. That is no money, is it? No money.
The Renault 5 was basically replaced in 1990 when the Clio came out. And the Clio obviously would go on to become one of Renault's best-selling cars of all time. I mean, who didn't love a Clio? So that was it. That was pretty much the end of the Renault 5, but it carried on until 1996, and this car here is one of the very last. My postman pulled up on my drive and said, "What's that, a 1970s? I said, "No, try 1995. And he couldn't believe it. Everything something just feels quite agricultural about this car, and it should, you know, it's an old-fashioned French hatchback. It should feel a little bit agricultural. You should feel like what you want to do is pop to the shops on a hot day, leave all the windows down, leave the car unlocked, and then go have coffee and a croissant. Now, the bonnet on this car doesn't pull up from the front, it pulls up from the back. And I just love that. I don't know why. It did stay up yesterday, but I'm parked on a hill today. So I'll just hold the camera and show you. I think it's a bit windy for audio anyway. I've basically done nothing with the engine bay, as you can tell by the amount of leaves. But we've got quite a bit of rust. But I mean, that's just your basic, simple, small 1.4 litre Renault engine. That dizzy cap was fairly new. It's on the service history. So there we go. That is an engine. And quite a rusty bonnet, actually. Now, let's see if it sounds like a Mercedes when you drop this down. Ready? Exactly like a Mercedes. You know when you drive a car and you instantly feel like you're on holiday? I get that with my Volvo, and I get it with this. Just like the level of charm and the wind-up windows, you know? It's a happy little car. I've still got the flag out the roof. Shit. There's absolutely something special about driving around in a car that is considered a classic, but you can use it like a daily. Right on the cusp of the modern classic movement, these early 90s cars represent a niche in the classic car world that can be driven by people who are younger, like myself, and we can still take it to shows and feel like we're involved without having to invest in something like an E-Type. This is a great alternative classic car for someone that's just starting out in their classic adventure. The thing is with a classic car like this, it's not like a Jaguar E-Type, it's not like you're driving a Ferrari or anything like that. If you're driving this around a city centre, no one's going to hassle you, no one's ever going to bother trying to steal this car. What is the point? It's just... Hey! Oi! Come back! Come back! Yeah, right, so that was staged, but basically, when a load of guys come up to you with golf clubs, I kind of thought it was going to happen anyway, but sounds like they were pretty sound. But my point still stands. So, financials on my Renault 5. I actually thought I was going to get my arse handed to me on this one. I paid £695, and judging from the reaction that everybody put when I put this up in Facebook, I really thought I'd cocked up. That being said, I then offered it in a £10 giveaway just to the people who were in the Geoff Buys Cars Insider group. I figured there's 750 people in that group. If they all chuck a tenner in, I'm up. They didn't all chuck a tenner in, but I have made my money back on my giveaway. And as promised, any profits from that giveaway will be donated to Mind, the mental health charity. So someone's going to get this car for 10 quid in a couple of nights' time. They're going to get a bottle of red, some cheeky French lagers, and a baguette as well. I might chuck in some croissants. Going to do the live broadcast in a couple of days, and I will update you with another YouTube video when it gets handed over to the new owner, who will get it for 10 quid. So if I overpaid at £695, anyone that said they've overpaid at a tenner, that's just rude. It's quite cool, isn't it? Come on, it is quite cool. It's also got freshly refurbished wheels. Refurbished. And a sunroof that does this. Thanks for watching. Finn!
Wow, that was the worst piece of crap I've ever seen.
Geoff Buys Cars.
YouTube's most boring car channel.